Fascism is an old idea of Italian origin, marked by imposing nationalist ideas on everyone, symbolized by its emblem of bundled sticks and an axe. Despite being a historically combated idea, fascism exhibited determination to its principles and a fervent belief, even leading some of its followers to commit collective acts of violence, as seen in New Zealand and Norway. Today, however, we won't discuss a man who committed a horrendous massacre, but rather an unsuccessful fascist, undeserving of the title bestowed upon him. Let's delve into the story of John Ausonius, a Swedish fascist who targeted racial minorities and immigrants for murder. John Ausonius was born in the city of Lidingö, Stockholm's capital, on July 12, 1953, to a Swiss father and a German mother. His parents had migrated to Sweden and met there, eventually marrying due to their shared language. After the birth of their first child, they decided to move to the rural suburb of Vällingby, where John grew up. Despite his parents finding a better life in Sweden, John's life wasn't happy at all. He was frequently bullied by classmates for not fitting the typical Swedish appearance, lacking blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair skin. Instead, he had brown eyes, black hair, and an olive complexion, leading to racial slurs like blade and Turk. Due to this bullying, John developed a complex about his distinct features. He started dyeing his hair blonde, wearing blue contact lenses to change his eye color, and using skin whitening creams to appear more traditionally Swedish. He even changed his name later on. Despite these efforts, Swedes didn't consider him a true Swede, and his German-influenced accent worsened matters. Consequently, his parents sent him to a German school in Stockholm. John failed in his studies, leaving school a year before graduation, and began living on government unemployment benefits. However, the unemployment benefits were not enough to sustain him, so he decided to study at the Royal Swedish Institute of Technology. After 2 years of study, he failed and was expelled from the institute. It was evident that John Ausonius was struggling in his life, relying on government unemployment benefits and resorting to theft. He was once caught, sent to prison for several months, and it was during this time that he met Miro Barisic, a Croatian fascist and member of the Croatian fascist movement, Ustaša. Miro, imprisoned for killing the Yugoslav ambassador in Sweden, gave John several books about fascism and talked to him about a plan by European socialist parties to erase European history and culture, replacing Europeans with foreigners. Miro had a significant impact on John, who emerged from prison as a Swedish fascist, despite entering with hatred towards Europeans and Swedes. After his release, the government stopped providing unemployment benefits, so he worked as a taxi driver for a private company. However, his salary couldn't cover his needs, prompting him to enter the stock market, where he displayed remarkable skill. He earned substantial profits, allowing him to buy a luxurious apartment in the capital, a high-end Toyota car, and a mobile phone, considering the cost at that time. Like any millionaire, John, driven by greed, aimed for quick profits in the stock market. However, he made the wrong stock investments and lost a significant amount of money. Subsequently, he turned to alcohol and gambling, losing more and more daily. Unable to change his lavish lifestyle from his stock trading days, he resorted to robbing banks. Initially successful in the stock market, John's expertise was evident. Yet stock trading isn't just about mathematical intelligence. It relies on knowledge of markets, popular culture, news, and company valuations. John knew how to choose banks for his heists, targeting medium-sized ones, not too wealthy with strict security, nor too small where every penny matters. He stole modest amounts to avoid prolonged police pursuits. He robbed over 18 different banks, stealing millions of dollars, and later decided to return to Sweden. In 1979, at the age of 26, John obtained Swedish citizenship, officially becoming a Swedish citizen. With the ability to join the army, he applied in 1980 and was accepted. In 1982, he was discharged from the army for personal reasons. John's main goal in joining the army was to learn how to use weapons and modify them. However, he failed miserably. Buying a rifle, he tampered with its barrel and muzzle, making it difficult to fire with high recoil and a loud sound. He also purchased a silenced revolver, but the poorly made suppressor caused the gun to misfire. Why do you think, dear viewer, that he joined the army and then bought weapons? Well, John intended to commit murder against any immigrant who committed a crime. Unable to find non-European criminals, he decided to start killing any non-European immigrant in Sweden. He began planning attacks to kill non-European immigrants. John Ausonius installed a remote-controlled laser targeting system, leading to him later being dubbed the Laser Man by local newspapers, as all his failed victims noticed a laser light from the direction of the gunfire. On August 3, 1991, the first attempt occurred. The target was David, a 21-year-old Eritrean immigrant, walking with his relatives. John fired at him, hitting him in the back but failed to kill him. On October 21st of the same year, the second attempt took place, targeting Shahram, a 25-year-old Iranian student. John shot him in the face after he finished his lecture at Stockholm University, but Shahram survived and reported seeing the laser light before being shot. 6 days after attempting to kill Shahram, John Ausonius tried to kill Dimitrios, a homeless Greek immigrant in Stockholm. John shot him twice in the abdomen, but despite this victim being the easiest, John failed to kill him as well. Dimitrios reported seeing the laser light before the shots were fired. Frustrated after failing to kill 3 people, John decided to go to a Brazilian restaurant on November 1st in the middle of the day, searching for any non-European person. There, he found the Brazilian restaurant's musician, Heberson da Costa, and brutally shot him. Despite being shot at close range, Heberson not only survived but also provided the police with precise details about John and his features. A week after his attempt to kill Heberson on November 8, 1991, John launched another attack at Stockholm University. He fired at Jimmy Ranjbar, a student and Iranian immigrant, critically injuring him. Jimmy died in the hospital several hours later, marking John's first murder. After successfully killing Jimmy, John decided to take a trip to celebrate and clear his mind. He booked a flight to Las Vegas in America and engaged in gambling. Rumors suggested he learned more about weapons during this time, enhancing his knowledge for improved use. While in Las Vegas, a fascist organization assassinated Sweden's prime minister, Olof Palme, a socialist credited with opening Sweden to immigration. The Laser Man was accused of the murder, as Palme was instrumental in allowing immigrants into Sweden, making the killer target those he brought. John returned to Sweden and resumed his killing spree, but chose not to stay in Stockholm due to heightened police activity. He went to Uppsala. In January 1992, on the 22nd, he entered a cafe in Uppsala and shot at Eric Ridloff, a Chilean immigrant and student who managed to escape. A day after attempting to kill Eric, the alert was raised in Uppsala. John returned to Stockholm, trying to kill Charles Dakama, an immigrant from Zimbabwe, who also survived. Later, he went to the Somali neighborhood, shooting 2 men in a cafe, and both survived. 5 days after attempting to kill Charles and attacking the Somali neighborhood, John waited outside a church and shot Isa Ayub, an Assyrian immigrant. Although Isa was wounded and bleeding, he managed to contact emergency services and survived, providing detailed information about John. On January 30th, 1992, 2 days after the attempt on Isa, John attacked Hassan Zatara, a Palestinian store owner. Hassan was injured but survived, providing precise details about John. Hassan ultimately played a crucial role in John's eventual capture. The end of John Ausonius, the failed killer. On June 12th, the police launched the largest search operation of the year to apprehend John, not for the murders of immigrants, but for the assassination of the Swedish Prime Minister. They believed he was directly linked to the killing of Olof Palme. On the same day, police officers were investigating a neighborhood when John, in need of money, attempted to rob a bank. Unfortunately for him, the Swedish police were close by. The bank alerted the police and they swiftly responded, capturing him. At that moment, the police didn't know they had apprehended a criminal with a long record. They thought he was just an ordinary man attempting a bank robbery. During the search for him, John Ausonius, suffering from personality disorders and autism, lost control and assaulted his lawyer. This incident prompted the lead investigator to intensify the search, as a sane person wouldn't attack their defending attorney. Through investigations, they discovered a silenced weapon he used in the attempted murders. Additionally, They found fascist symbols and Nazi memorabilia in one of his apartments. In the end, he confessed to everything. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, subject to appeal. In 2008, after spending 16 years behind bars, he appealed the judge's decision. After examination by doctors who diagnosed him with personality disorders and autism, the judge amended his sentence to 40 years. Having served 16 years already, he is set to be released in 2031. In 2018, the German government revealed the findings of the investigation into John's actions in Germany, discovering his responsibility for bank robberies. They also found that John had killed a German Jew, leading to a life sentence in Germany. If he visits Germany, he will be arrested and his sentence activated. Despite suffering from personality disorders, John expressed regret during some trials, while in others, he was proud and saddened by his failed murder attempts. At 69 years old today, he still has 8 years left in prison. In 2006, a 23-year-old woman fell in love with him, corresponded, and they decided to marry. This seemed to improve his mental health in prison. However, when she visited him and saw him as a 53-year-old, she decided to leave, worsening his condition. The case of John Ausonius was documented in the book Lasermannen, En Berättelse om Sverige, 2002, which became a bestseller, exploring not only Ausonius but also life in Sweden. In 2005, the book was adapted into a play, and a 3-part TV series aired in the same year, with actor David Dencik portraying John Ausonius. Despite his wealth, nobody accepted him, and his story is considered the most failed tale of a fascist killer. He managed to kill only 1 person out of 11 targets and was not affiliated with any fascist organization or party. Despite his financial success, people rejected him. It's ironic how a person can sacrifice everything to help those who don't care about him. He attempted to kill people to please those who saw no difference in him compared to the ones he tried to murder. Ultimately, faith and adherence to principle played a crucial role, as John was a fascist with a steadfast ideology. Dear viewers, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Share your thoughts in the comments about the story of the failed John Ausonius.